Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Nitai Gauranga ki, Sri Srinivasa Govinda ki, Sri Prahlad Nrsimhadev ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Text 54, 18th chapter. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 18, text 54. Please repeat after me. Brahma bhutah prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. Brahma bhutah prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. Anyone like to chant? Brahma bhutah prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. Brahma bhutah prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Please repeat. One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. So it's a little big purport, but I will explain as we move along. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Jai Srila Prabhupada. So very important instruction Krishna mentions here. Brahma Bhutaha Prasannatma Na Shochati Na Kankshati Samaha Sarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Labhate Param. So Krishna says, one who is liberated, he is called Brahma Bhuta. Brahma Bhuta means one who has become liberated from material life, materialistic life. And what is the symptom of such a person? Because we only hear somebody is liberated, but we don't know what is supposed to be their symptoms. How do we certify somebody who is really liberated? So Krishna says here, the first quality of such person is prasannatma. Prasannatma means blissful, very happy. So that person is supposed to be very joyful. That is the first quality, condition or quality of that person who is supposed to be liberated. And what does it mean by joyful? Is he always enjoying his senses, therefore he is joyful? Is he materially joyful? He is enjoying sensual happiness? What kind of joy it is? No, that joy which is na sochati na kankshati, freedom from hankering or lamentation. These are the two things that this material world is consisting of, usually. Always we are hankering after something or we are lamenting for something. We may buy something, it's like for example a house. Oh, I should have bought it when the prices are low 5 years back. Or I bought it too high a price. Either way, it's lamentation. Either you buy at the right time or wrong time. There's lamentation. Or for those who have not bought the house, they are always hankering. Oh, I should buy the house. You go to Amazon or any website, you want to buy something. There are 100 products, similar products. What should I buy? What should I buy? And when you buy something, and you end up lamenting, I should have actually bought that one. That had better ratings. I knew that this guy gave this comment. Instead, in spite of that, I bought it. So either anything you take, oh, the kids are growing up fast. I want the kids to be young and happy, and when they grow up, they leave me. But when we see them problematic, oh, I wish this guy becomes more mature and more understanding. So always our life is full of lamentation and hankering. We cannot avoid that. There was a story of 4 Brahmanas who went to this old man, old sage. They wanted to gain good wealth so that they can settle in life, get married and all of that. So the Brahmana, he said, okay, you're supposed to be content with what you get. But I will tell you how you can get wealth, but whenever you find it, you're supposed to be very contented and go away. And just take it and go away. He said, yes, we'll be content with that. He said, okay, I'll give you this ghee wicks. He placed it in each of their hands. And so you go towards this Himalayas, go on top, and on the way, inevitably these ghee wicks keep falling down. And wherever these wick falls down, dig that place, you will attain some wealth and be contented with that. And so they start going, and the first wick falls from the first hand of first Brahmana. And then they start digging that place, and then they find some copper, huge amount of copper. And he says, see, Guruji said, be happy with what you get, so let's take all this and let's go back and let's lead a contented life. So the other three Brahmanas were not quite convinced. They said, no, we also have wicks, let's see what we get. So this Brahmana got contented and he left. So they started to go again. Now the second ghee wick fell from the second Brahmana. He dug, and this time he got silver. And he became very happy. And he said, no, yeah, we got silver, enough amount of silver, let's be contented and go back. The other two said, no, why should we? We still have 2 ghee wicks left. Why should we be just satisfied with this? Let's try more. So they started to go. And the third ghee wick fell, and then they dug. And this time he found gold. Not huge amount, but good enough for his sustenance. And finally he was, okay, at least my gamble paid off, so let me take this. And the fourth guy said, no, what? You are stopping with this? Not that much of gold. Maybe it will be even more. See the progression, the stocks are raising. Why do you want to stop? Why do you want to sell it off right now? So he continued, all three left, and he continued to go, and he reached on top of the pinnacle. And there, he dropped that, or the ghee wick dropped. But to his surprise, nothing was there, but there was another man who was really wailing in pain because some kind of a wheel, a huge wheel, is placed on his head, and it is rotating and keeping him firm on the ground, and he cannot move, and he is just stuck to the place, and he is crying for pain and all of that. And then the other guy saw him and said, what's happening? Why are you here? And then as he was speaking, suddenly the wheel automatically started to fly and landed on this Brahmana's head, the fourth guy. And it started to rotate, and he started to feel the pain and the weight, and he got stuck to the ground. He cannot move. He's crying, he's shouting. And then the other man was quite relieved. Thank God somebody came here. And then he said, what's happening? How do I get out of this? I thought of getting some wealth. What's happening here? And he said, you know what? This is the place of Kubera. And all this while, you got some little wealth. And this is the place where all the treasure is stored. And Kubera has put a lot of advanced technologies that anybody who tries to come and take it, this wheel will push them down to that place. That is a punishment. And then, when did you come here? And he said, who is the king of India right now? He said some prime minister's name. I came here when Lord Ramachandra was ruling. And they told me that if somebody else comes here, then only you can go back. The wheel will be transferred onto their head, and then you can go back. So that means he's stuck there until somebody else comes. See, this is the typical mentality of anybody who is trying to acquire anything in this world. Nobody is satisfied with anything. They always keep wanting something, keep wanting something, keep wanting something. As long as you remain in this material world, these two are constant, hankering or lamentation. How much ever advanced you become materially you happy, this will be constant, lamentation and hankering. There was a study done, simple study, on how people get happy. So, these children, they were sent to this ice cream shop. And the ice cream shop had only one flavor, strawberry flavor. All the children took that, and all of them had what is their favorite flavor? Strawberry flavor. And so they were happy, very happy, ate it. And then next time they were sent to another ice cream store. But this time they had 10 different flavors. chocolate flavor, vanilla flavor, strawberry flavor, orange, mango, whatever it is, right? 10 flavors. And this time they were asked to pick. And the children became excited. Oh my God, I have never seen. But they said, you can only pick one, because you can only eat one. And they got so excited, but they don't know what to pick. And they thought about it. But strawberry was their favorite flavor. So all of them took strawberry again. But the studies find that they were only 50% happy compared to the previous time. You understand what I'm saying? Why? Why? Because even though they were eating their favorite flavor, lamentation was going on in their mind. Oh, I missed out on that. I missed out on that. When I studied this study, I remembered my college days. So we studied in a hostel in North India. And the food was obviously hostel food, not that great. But every festival they would give feast. They would give a lot of varieties. And so we will all go and grab the first table. When the feast door opens, and we all run in and gather the first table. And then these people, they come and serve and all that. So we say, give me more, give me more, give me more. And he would serve and go, and we'll be eating, and we'll be thinking whether that item is getting over. I should focus on that. Instead of focusing on what I'm eating, I'm focusing on something else in my mind. So this is the situation of everybody in this material world. We are always hankering for something that we don't have. Even though what we have, we don't enjoy. We are always hankering for what we want more. And when we get something, we lament, oh, I should have got something else. Or this doesn't quite cut it. I should have joined that company, or I should have bought that house, whatever it is. This is the constant theme of this material world. So as long as we don't become freed from hankering and lamentation, we are not supposed to be liberated. So this is a formula we can apply on our own selves. Whether I am free from hankering and lamentation, if I am not free, I am not liberated. As long as I am not liberated, I stay in this material world. At the end of the body, at the end of life, based on my desires, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tameva iti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitaha. We get another body based on my desires. And it could be a lower species, animal species. If I do some pious work, I can get a devata body also. But it is not constant. Once you get a devata body, you have to come back. Kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. So in this way, upari adha tasyaiva heto prayate tako vido na labhyate yad brahmatam upari adha. So Narada Muni says, intelligent person, kovida, not kovida, kovida. Kovida means intelligent person. He does not work for something by which he will go sometimes upper planets, sometimes lower planets, lower species. In this way, keeping on going up and down. He does not work for that. He works for something by which he can completely transcend this material body altogether and go back to that place, Brahma-bhuta stage. So there's a conversation between Prabhupada, our spiritual master, and one of his disciples. So the disciple was asking this question. I'll read out that conversation, very interesting conversation. And it is needed to understand the principle of Krishna consciousness. So the devotee is saying, Prabhupada, you commented that everyone has a natural desire to have relationship with Krishna. So that was his question. So Prabhupada, it seems in lectures or something he heard, so we need to develop some desire to cultivate some relationship with Krishna. So Prabhupada said, he corrected, not desire. He is already established in that relation. So the devotee is asking more clarification. What do you mean by that? So Prabhupada says, just like you are a son and you have father. Father and son, that relationship is established already. But you might have forgotten. You might have left home since a very long time, and you do not know who is your father. But there is some father. That is a fact. Nobody can say, no, I'm born without a father. Nobody can say that. One has father, but he has forgotten his father. So this Krishna consciousness movement is that we have got some relationship with the Supreme Lord that we have now forgotten. So it is not the question of desire. It is there. You don't desire to become one's son. So nobody desires to become one's son. You are already a son of somebody. Somebody is a father of somebody. It's already established, but you forgot. You simply forgot. The relationship with Krishna is there, but we have forgotten. So this Krishna consciousness practice will revive your relation with Krishna. It's not that you have to now add an additional layer on top of it. It's naturally there. It's already connected. And that will be revealed when you are perfect in Krishna consciousness. And then Prabhupada quoted this verse that we are reading. Brahma bhutaha prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. You are freed from all material contamination and you are perfectly situated in devotional service. It will be at once revealed. So how that relationship with Krishna is revealed? When we become Brahma bhuta, or when we become Krishna conscious. Our forgotten relationship with Krishna is revealed. So here in the purport, Prabhupada mentions very important points. He says that this Brahmabhuta stage, it's like the river when it is muddy with water, obviously it is contaminated. When it is cleansed of all the contamination, it is fresh. So when you serve Krishna, Krishna is supreme pure. And anybody who serves Krishna becomes like Krishna, supreme pure. And when, just like Krishna is fully happy, you also become happy. Have you ever seen Krishna crying or morose or anxiety? He's never seen. Any picture you see, Krishna's picture, even that of killing the demons, that's a pastime. He is he is not even sweating. It's like a leela for him. So, one of Prabhupada's God brother means who gets initiated under the same spiritual master. So, he came to India and he has analyzed everything. He was a Westerner. He came from Europe. He analyzed all the spiritual paths, and he visited a lot of temples of devatas, and then he finally concluded that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then all the disciples there, when he came and he presented his understanding, they were all surprised pleasantly that how he could come to that independent conclusion, the right conclusion, without anybody's guidance. And he said, it's a simple thing. I applied simple logic. God means all-powerful. God means he should not be under anybody. He is not responsible to be reporting to somebody. He would always be free and happy and blissful. But wherever I went, their poses are either in a meditation or they have somebody above them. But only with Krishna, he is always happy and he is always in a leela, and everybody reports to him, and he is not bound by anything else. So that is why I come to the conclusion that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So sometimes people say, how there is so much of distress in this world, why God does not have any compassion? Krishna does not care for us. He is always enjoying, seems to be always enjoying. There is no moroseness on his face. It is just like asking, why there is no darkness in the sun? The sun, why the sun is always bright? Because that's the nature of the sun. The sun's nature is to eradicate darkness. The sun cannot be overcome by darkness. So similarly, where there is Krishna, there is full of knowledge, full of bliss. He is Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, full of spiritual happiness. He is always. It is said that Krishna Surya Sama, Maya hai andhakar. Yaha Krishna taha mayar nahi adhikar. Wherever there is Krishna, there is no scope for darkness. Like you go outside and face towards the sun. Then you cannot see your own shadow. The shadow is behind. But if you keep the sun at the back, the shadow will be in your front. You will be always seeing the shadow. Right? So Krishna is like that. If you keep Krishna on your back, you don't turn towards Krishna. That means you are forgetful of Krishna. You'll always be seeing Maya. You'll always be in Maya. If you always turn towards Krishna and always be in Krishna consciousness, there is no scope for Maya. So there are no other option, only two options. In the multiple choice questions, usually we get 4 options. But in our life, actually, only 2 options. Either you choose Krishna or you choose Maya. There is no other option. Sometimes there is a letter that comes to your house. Hi, I see that your 401k, you changed your company and there's as much as 401k left in your previous account. You need to do this and this and this to be transferred. If you don't do this, we'll do this by default. So default action is there written. So if you don't choose something, that means you don't choose Krishna, Maya chooses something for you. You don't choose to come to temple. That means Maya has chosen something for you already. You don't choose to become Krishna conscious, take up chanting. So Maya has already chosen. Why don't you spend time like this? So this is the only 2 options. So a human being, responsible human being, takes choice of Krishna and becomes prasannatma and becomes na socheti na kankshati. Na socheti na kankshati means, here Prabhupada mentions, he is not perturbed by any lamentation or hankering because of the river cleansed of all dirty water. Because a pure devotee has no thought other than Krishna, he is naturally always joyful. He does not lament for any material loss or gain because he is full in the service of the Lord. He has no desire for material enjoyment because he knows that every living entity is the fragmental part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and therefore eternally a servant. So we can only be happy by being a servant of Krishna. This material sense gratificatory happiness is not really happiness. They say that very wonderful example is given in Shastra. Because we are all hankering for sense gratification, right? We want to eat good food, enjoy some parties, nice parties, see great movies, be with friends, all that. We want sense gratification because it gives some kind of happiness. So that is considered like, in the Shastra, like you get some itching sensation. And you feel like rubbing, right? And it does give you some kind of relief and some kind of pleasure, if you want to call it that way. So that is like the sense gratificatory happiness. The happiness that we get from sense gratification is like the itching sensation. And what will happen? Because you are getting happiness from itching, what will happen if you keep on itching? It causes scratch. Your skin will get peeled off or something will happen, and what it will result? Pain. The source of pleasure turned out to be the source of distress. Similarly, if you take food, what if your mom or your husband, your wife or husband forgets to add salt to the food? So you cannot even swallow it, right? Very distasteful. The moment right salt is added, you feel, oh, this is a nice food. So what is the thing that is giving taste to the food? Salt is giving taste to the food. Now, just because salt gives taste to the food, what will happen if you add more salt? Huh? What will happen? It becomes distasteful, not good for nothing. Not only that, more salt will do damage to your body. So what does it mean? So senses are there, food is there, salt is there to be used optimally. So senses are there, you need to use it, but not overuse it, over scratch it, over salt. And sometimes you see in India, there is a vehicle and they keep dumping people, dozens of people, and then the vehicle is crumbling. You don't know how the vehicle is surviving. Just because there is a vehicle, does it mean you can load hundreds of tons and then carry it? So what will happen to the longevity? So it's like that. Just because we don't know anything else other than sense happiness. That is a problem. We don't know a conditioned living entity. He does not know any happiness other than sensual happiness. So for lack of knowledge, they don't know. They can come and hear nice kirtan, nice prasadam, same food you're eating, but offering and eating. So you are advancing spiritually, you are getting cleansed, you are tasting higher happiness. The chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, you taste it, you feel that pleasure. Nobody knows. So yesterday we went to distribute Bhagavad Gitas door to door in one apartment complex. Mostly Westerners. They were opening the door, and thanks to COVID, they were surprised, pleasantly surprised and happy to see somebody that they can talk to. And they're looking at this book. Hey, what is this? This seems very interesting. What is this about? Who is this person? And then the mantra card that we give, the chanting, it all appears something, different, and we are all appearing happy and enthusiastic, and they think that, oh, we have something great to offer than something in the box that they are confined to and struggling and stressed out. So this opens the door for higher happiness. It's not sensual happiness, even though the actions that you do in Krishna consciousness appear to be on a sensual level, but the pleasure is not sensual pleasure. The pleasure is that of, oh, I'm servant of Krishna and I'm doing service to Krishna. That's my pleasure. Not of course, you also get sensual pleasure, but that is a byproduct. The sense happiness also you get when you serve Krishna, but that is byproduct. Devotees don't consider that as that's like an additional bonus. Sometimes you may get, sometimes you may not get. In the material world, sometimes there will be pleasure, sometimes there will be pain. The devotees don't consider that. The devotees consider sense pleasure to be like one Acharya says, there are flowers and fruits, but they grow on the trees, not on the sky. So he calls the sense pleasure to be Akasha Pushpayate. Kaivalyam Narakayate, Tridasha Pura Akasha Pushpayate. People are usually after sense happiness in heavenly planets. They say, oh, heavenly planets, we can go and enjoy this Somarasa beverage, Nandana Kanana gardens. We can live a life of so much of happiness and all of that. But it is like phantasmagoria. The only difference is you will eat here on a paper plate or a porcelain plate. There you will eat in a golden plate. That's the only difference. There is no other difference. The actual sense pleasure you get from the food remains the same. Just that you will get more advanced kind of thing. So it is Tridasha Pura Akasha Pushpayate, Kaivalyam Narakayate, Durdanta Indriya Kala Sarpa Patali Prodghata Damstrayate. He says for a devotee, he doesn't need to worry about falling down because of sensual pleasures. because he's already engaging his senses in serving Krishna. He does not fall back to any other sense pleasures. For others, the senses are like serpents. Even though you're trying, a spiritualist, typically, he's trying to advance spiritually and trying to restrain his senses from material engagement. But the moment there is a strong Maya comes and attacks, there are so many ways of getting attacked by Maya. It is like the venomous serpent coming and hitting, and they fall for it. But a devotee, he is also dealing with senses, and the snake is ready to bite in terms of material attraction. But it is said that for a devotee, that snake is like a snake without fangs. Like sometimes I've seen in my childhood, this person comes with this snake charming flute, and they display the snake, this thing, in front of the houses. And typically they don't have that fangs. They remove those fangs. They are not dangerous. So nobody becomes so terrified by those snakes. So it's like that. A devotee, he does not worry about the snakes, the venomous serpents of the snakes, because the fangs are already removed. Because we are engaging the senses in serving Krishna. The senses don't bite us so hard anymore. We don't get compelled or impelled by sensual attraction. Durdhanta indriya kala sarpa patali prodghata damstrayate. Vidhi mahendradischa kitayate. He will consider either Indra or a Indra Gopa. There is an insect called Indra Gopa, small insect, or Indra, who is a very famous personality. He will consider them to be the same. Why? Because they have a material body according to their karma, but ultimately they are spirit souls. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. For a devotee, the whole universe becomes a place of happy place because he uses everything for serving Krishna. So this is how he becomes freed from lamentation. Brahmabhuta Prasannatma. Prasannatma means freedom from lamentation. At any stage, a devotee, of course we are talking about pure devotee, practicing devotee may sometimes be affected by lamentation and hankering, but we are on that process. At least we got on the boat. You will still feel the rocking of the boat. You're better off than a person who is struggling in the ocean. So this Krishna consciousness is like the boat, and the people who are devoid of Krishna consciousness, struggling in this material world, are like swimming against these tides of this ocean. And however expert swimmer you are, can you cross over an ocean? Impossible. But if there is a secure boat and somebody lends hands and lifts you, then you are secured on the boat. And you will still feel the rocking because you're not used to being on the boat. There is seasickness and all of that. But at least you are on the boat. You're saved. And when you become progressive, when you further progress, you come to the stage of being Brahmabhuta, fully peaceful, happy, Prasannatma, not be bewildered by hankering or lamentation. Having said that, it doesn't mean that in spiritual life there won't be anxiety at all. There is material anxiety, and then there is anxiety for Krishna. There was one disciple who wrote a letter to Prabhupada saying, Prabhupada, I'm so stressed out, and we have very few devotees, and they don't hear me. He was the temple president. So they don't listen to me. They are always demanding. They are leaving. My wife also doesn't listen to me. And I have to somehow make sure we get enough finances to, meet the demands of the temple. And on top of it, I have to send 50% to the BBT, 50% for the construction of the Vrindavan project. So all of that. And then Prabhupada wrote back to him saying, so the reason why we engage you in various services is not just for the sake of services or gaining some money or doing some project. No, these are all ways and means for you to become Krishna conscious. That is the main objective. You develop Krishna consciousness, you get an opportunity to do various services, so that by doing that service, you become Krishna conscious. Whether you achieve it or not, it's a different thing. And Prabhupada gave an example of Mother Yashoda. She was always in anxiety. Isn't it? Wherever you see Mother Yashoda's picture, she's always running after Krishna. She's taking care of Krishna. She's very anxious that Krishna not be taken away by the demons. Krishna is properly fed. So all of this, it's transcendental anxiety. He said, devotional service doesn't mean that, oh, you will sit idle and sleep and relax. It's not like armchair philosophy of a typical thinking of a person, when I get retired, I'll just sit down and sleep. No. That's not spiritual life. Spiritual life means full of energy, full of enthusiasm, full of doing service for Krishna, and that requires you to become anxious. But for Krishna, for the service of Krishna. And that is called transcendental anxiety. And that actually purifies you, that elevates you. So we should not think, oh, Brahmabhuta means why he is working and why he is so eager and ambitious. He is not Brahmabhuta. No, no, no. A Krishna conscious person is very ambitious, but for Krishna. We should do this for Krishna. We should build this for Krishna. We should achieve this for Krishna. The change is, instead of doing it for me, we do it for Krishna. That is also Brahmabhuta stage. He is also considered to be Prasannatma, because he does not have hankering or lamentation for his own self. His hankering or lamentation is for Krishna. I'll stop here. Any questions or comments on what we discussed? So we'll be giving the beads. Anybody coming for the first time? Hare Krishna. Can I get one beads here? No, I have it. Give it to the person who came for the first time there, backside. So we are going to be chanting this Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this has 108 beads totally. And we chant 108 times, the complete mantra. So it is said that Krishna has come in the form of his holy name. There is no difference between Krishna, who is there in the spiritual world, or Krishna who is there as deity here, or Krishna, the name that I chant, or you chant, you produce the name Krishna. There is no difference between actual Krishna and the name Krishna. Abhinnatvat nama namino. There is no difference. In fact, this sound form of Krishna is more merciful than the person Krishna. So one should take advantage of Krishna's presence in the form of his holy name. All it requires is to chant very nicely, produce the sound very nicely. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then hear it very attentively. So that means we are taking in Krishna. Pravishtaha karnarandhrena swanam bhavasaroruham dhunoti shamalam Krishna salilasya yadhasharat. Krishna cleanses all the desires, material desires in our heart, makes us pure when we hear Krishna's name very carefully. So this is the best method of meditation in this age, recommended by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and as well as in scriptures. So before we chant, we take the blessings of Guru Gauranga, and then we chant together outside loud, synchronously. And please pay close attention to the vibration. Don't have to think or imagine anything. Just hear the sound very attentively. Any questions before we move on? Okay, please repeat after me. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा. So all of us together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So if you want more information and details about, we have nice programs in the temple about chanting, and we have several conference calls about Bhagavad Gita. If you need more information, please let us know. There is one of our devotees here. Can you please stand up, Mataji? So Lata Mataji. So apart from you, anybody else coming for the first time here? We have some nice gift also. Hare Krishna. So there is one person, two people here. Can you see her, this Lata Mataji there? She'll be there at that desk, the gift shop desk. Please see her without fail before you leave. She'll be waiting there, or remember her. She'll be giving you a good gift, and she'll enroll you in all the groups that we have, relevant groups. So it'll be quite helpful for you. Thank you. So now we'll have Aarti, and you can all get up and turn towards the deities. The Prasadam feast sponsors are requested to come for the Archana Seva. Okay, today's feast sponsors